As always, we start with the IPL. Cricket is called a gentleman's game, but what we saw on Monday night at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow was anything but gentlemanly. The protagonists of the on-ground tussle were two superstars, Virat Kohli and a legend of the past, Gautam Gambhir. Now, there was a time when Gambhir awarded his trophy to Kohli after the latter scored his maiden century in 2009. Things have gone south post that. So much so that the two nearly got into a punching fight in 2013 when Gautam Gambhir was captaining Kolkata against Kohli's Bangalore. And yesterday, the former teammates were once again barely inches away from coming to blows with each other. To tell us why and what happened last night, I'm being joined with my colleague Karishma. Karishma, welcome to the broadcast. What a fight this has been.
Well, yes, absolutely, Shreya. This was the biggest controversy of IPL 2023 so far, involving Virat Kohli, Gautam Gambhir and Naveen-ul-Haq from Afghanistan. We are going to break it down for our viewers. Now, where did it start? It started in the 16th over when Amit Mishra and Naveen-ul-Haq were batting, and there seemed to be a minor incident in which Naveen-ul-Haq and Virat Kohli exchanged some words. Now, after that, right after that over, Virat Kohli took the catch of Krunal Pandya and he signalled towards the crowd, literally saying, "Shut up," a finger on his lips moment, which was something that Gautam Gambhir had done when LSG had beaten RCB in Bengaluru itself. So clearly, that is where it all started. First with Naveen-ul-Haq exchanging words with Virat Kohli, then Virat Kohli taking a catch and going on to do the same celebration that Gautam Gambhir had done in Bengaluru itself. And then, of course, tempers flared up when Virat Kohli was having a chat with Lucknow player Kyle Mayers, and Gautam Gambhir came in and dragged the player away. It was in that moment that we saw Virat Kohli and Gautam Gambhir charging at each other. There were teammates who were coming in for protection, who were trying to, solve the issue, end the matter, but that did not seem like happening because Virat Kohli and Gautam Gambhir were having a go at each other. Faf du Plessis, KL Rahul, Amit Mishra, all coming in between and trying to play peacemakers, but it did not help as they ended up having a go at each other, saying some words. Virat Kohli probably asking what that issue was about dragging Kyle Mayers away, because they were just having a normal conversation. But if you thought that the matter ended there, well, it didn't. You are wrong, because in a video which has been posted by Kohli's team, he goes on to take a dig at Gautam Gambhir. Listen in.
You gotta take it. Otherwise, don't give it. You can give it. You gotta take it. Otherwise, don't give it.
Now, the BCCI, of course, swung into action, and both Kohli and Gambhir have been fined 100% of their match fees, and Naveen-ul-Haq has been fined 50% of his match fees. Former cricketers have also waded in to this matter. In fact, we have Harbhajan Singh, who spoke on this entire issue, and he spoke about how in 2008 he felt ashamed of what he did with Shri. Listen in.
वहाँ गौतम गंभीर चल के आए, वो विराट कोहली वहाँ से दूसरी तरफ से चल के आए, वहाँ भी गर्मी वाले शब्द जो है वो बोले गए एक दूसरे को। देखो यार, बड़े सवाल होंगे, भी गौतम की गलती थी या वहाँ पे कोहली की गलती थी या फिर नवीन की गलती थी। गौतम ने एक जेस्चर किया, विराट कोहली ने हाथ मिलाया, तो हम देख सकते हैं कि हाथ एकदम मिलाने के बाद उठा के हमारा
Incidents like these keep happening in cricket. Sledging keeps happening, but some would say that this is disrespecting the game that we call a gentleman's game. And on that note, I'm being joined by Nikhil Sharma, who is a sports commentator. Nikhil, firstly, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Karishma.
Hi,
Hi,
Nikhil, I
Karishma.
want to start by asking you, what do you make of this controversy? A lot of former cricketers wading into it and saying that, this was uncalled for. One is legend of the past, one is a very senior player. But what we saw was something completely unbecoming of it.
Well, Karishma, I believe both of them are fierce competitors, right? They believe in making sure their aggression is seen on the ground. They live for the moment. They want to win. Both of them, attach a lot of importance to the victories, to the way they play the game, and it's fairly similar. They come from almost the same region in Delhi as well, and I just believe it's kind of gotten out of hand. Gambhir, of course, with that gesture in Chinnaswamy and Virat yesterday at the Ekana. If you really look at this particular clip that's playing, I think Virat's trying to explain something to Gautam Gambhir. But it seems like that hasn't been taken too well by Gautam Gambhir, and that, kind of snowballed into a much bigger issues. Of course, if you see people around as well, all of them are trying to pull the others as well as both of them apart. But once they're in that mood, then it's very tough for anybody to explain. Both of them very strong headed individuals as well as far as sports is concerned. So not a great sight for cricket, not just because it's called a gentleman's game, but just because there are millions and millions of young kids watching it, and they will find this behavior very acceptable. These fights, these stiffs, these conversation on the ground very acceptable. In fact, will imbibe it and possibly keep playing it out when they play the game, which is very unfortunate for the game. Karishma?
Well, it is unfortunate for the game, but there is another set of visuals, Nikhil, that I wanted to talk about, which is of Virat Kohli and KL Rahul talking after the match, and then KL Rahul gesturing towards Naveen-ul-Haq to come talk to Virat and end the matter, and he denies it. He leaves for the ground, and then Virat Kohli is also, of course, seen gesturing, apparently saying ki theek hai ja. So, that also doesn't set the record straight. Naveen-ul-Haq, being a young player, could have accorded that respect to Virat Kohli and to his captain KL Rahul as well.
He should have. Ideally. One of the greatest things about IPL rather, is that you see a lot of young players going to the legends of the game that are still playing the sport and seeking opinions. That being said, it's fiercely competitive. If Naveen-ul-Haq believes that he is right in his right to kind of be competitive, only award as much respect as he wishes to Virat Kohli, then so be it. But if his captain had called him over to kind of put that entire issue to rest, he should have. But I think it's just the heat of moment, and usually when you lose a game from those closer quarters, you only realize it once you've kind of had the time to go over, to ponder about the incident. And I'm sure all of them who are associated with it will eventually believe that that wasn't the right thing to do for all three of them as far as the image of the game is concerned, and that they are great proponents of this sport. At least Virat and Gautam are. Naveen is still a much younger player, and he will in fact believe that that's not the right approach for the sport. Karishma?
And Nikhil, what this controversy has done is that it's completely divided the social media into two groups, Virat Kohli fans and Gautam Gambhir fans, who are trying to defend their respected, player, their respected idol. But so to say, one can't really blame one player or the other for this. This keeps happening in the sport, but there needs to be a better way to express feelings, you reckon?
Well, you can't blame one over the other or vice versa. And yes, it started happening way too often in the sport nowadays. Of course, cricket is called the gentleman's sport, but there's so much riding on the game now, not just in terms of money, but RCB's had a history of not winning the title. There's a lot of pressure on the senior players at RCB, or even in fact on other teams as well. There's just there's so many people watching the sport. The fact that you might Virat Kohli's status as being the a legend in the sport might be questioned for his lack of IPL success, might be taken up by some quarters of the fans. So it is, it just happens way too often on the cricket field nowadays, and that's not great marketing for the sport. Of course, any kind of controversy kind of explodes on social media with fans who are following the sport at such close quarters. But I do believe that it's not a great brand image for the sport, for IPL, and for both these legends who've done their country proud at almost every stage of their cricketing careers.
Well, yes, absolutely. It is not a great sight. And, Nikhil, Virat and Gambhir have never been best of friends in Indian cricket. And that's a known fact. They've had their competition, when Virat was playing for Delhi, when Gambhir was playing for Delhi. So their rivalry, so to say, started from there on. 2013, we saw, how they got into a fight, KKR captain and RCB captain. And then in between, after retiring, Gautam Gambhir has taken pot shots at Virat Kohli, saying he's lucky he's a captain for RCB. He's criticized him a lot when he was going through a tough phase through captaincy. So they've never been best of friends, but the least they can do is set a good example for the younger generation, like you said, who will want to take up the sport.
Well, absolutely. I think both of them have very similar personalities, Karishma. If you really look at, both of them individually, and I can only talk about the way their sporting careers are, we cannot talk about how they're in their personal lives. Both of them are extremely competitive. They want to win every game, every moment that they play in. So when you have personalities that are, that are so driven to win, so driven to perform, it is but likely that they will have, opinion clashes. And I do respect both of them to speak their minds out. I was also watching some old interview of Gautam Gambhir's where he says, yes, when we are competing, performing on the field, we will have difference of opinions. We will have those clashes. But at the end of the day, I do respect him, right? If there are decisions that he's made or things that are happening to Indian cricket, I'm entitled to my view. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have any bearing on my personal opinion of Virat as a person, which I think is fair enough as well, right? It's as long as they perform, as long as they feel, as long as they're driven to take Indian cricket forward, or their respective franchisees or their respective teams, I think it's very okay for two people not to be best of friends, but to have that mutual respect. On a stray incident or two, to have these kind of altercations, though for the sport it's not great. I can only see a lot of young kids, a lot of young players watching this and saying this behavior is okay, right? We have to wear our cricketing hearts on our sleeve, and if we have a go at our opponents, it is an okay thing to do, because stalwarts of the game have been doing it, which is not the case. These are not kind of things that you would see too often back in the days, but has become all too recurring as far as the current generation of cricketers is concerned. Unfortunate, but that's the reality of life in cricket. Karishma?
Well, absolutely. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining us and sharing your perspective on the biggest controversy of IPL 2023 so far. But for the moment, it's back to Shreya in the studios.